Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the morning meditation. You know, when I had a real job back in the day, we loved to talk about Wednesday as get over the hump day. You're just that much closer to the weekend, getting over the halfway point. And if you're wondering what a real job is, I have learned in life a real job is one that you hate. And so if you hate your job this morning, you have a real job and you appreciate that it's hump day. If you're like me, you don't have a real job anymore, but thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you taking the time to be with us. And it's my desire to bend our heart to God's Word. And it's my desire to give you some helpful content in a short amount of time. So let's do that. We come to the 17th stanza out of 22 in Psalm 119. And I find in this stanza 4 verses where David seems to be commanding God. Verse 132, 33, 34, 35. If you read them, they're in the form of a command. Now, we certainly know that you and I do not command God, and David, I think, understood that. So I believe what it is it's showing his desperation. He's pleading with God on these matters. And I like the verse 133. He says, "Order my steps in thy word, and let not any iniquity have dominion over me." David pleads to God, God, would you order my steps, first of all. Now, the idea there is to make his steps firm, so that David could walk confidently through life, knowing that he's on the right path. He's got the right direction. And so in order to do that, he says, God, I need you to order my steps according or in your word. And it's amazing how many things that we allow in life to order our steps for us. When we're younger, maybe it's our friends that order our steps, or our parents. And as we get older, it becomes more of our feelings or desires. We just do what feels good or what we want to do, or maybe it's just what's comfortable, or maybe it's just the circumstances around us order our steps for us. But David said, that's not what I want, God. I want you to order my steps in your word, so that I know I'm headed the right direction. I can walk confidently through this life. And then he says this, and let not any iniquity have dominion over me. Now, I missed, the first few times I read that, I missed a key word, and it's a very small word, but it's the word any. He says, let not any iniquity. And I didn't catch it until I read Albert Barnes. Here's what he said. He that is willing that any one sin should rule in his heart, though he should be free from all other forms of sin, cannot be a pious man. In other words, you can get victory over every other sin in this world. But if you're hanging on to one sin and refusing to give that one sin over to God, you cannot live a godly life. You cannot walk confidently knowing that you're following God's word and in his will, because you're allowing even that one sin to have dominion over you. And so David says, let not any sin have dominion. And we know Paul in Romans 6, the New Testament, says that sin should not have dominion over us. And so I challenge you today in this morning meditation to step back and say, as David did, God, would you order my steps? God, would you not allow any sin? Would you search my heart and see if there's just one thing that I'm hanging on to and I just refuse to give it up? Chances are God's already brought it to your mind because you know what that is. And so I would challenge you, and I would challenge you this. Number one, you can't order your steps in God's word if you don't know God's word. So get into it, study it, and allow God's word to be in your heart, to meditate on God's word. And then number two, he's going to turn the light on some things. And so there's going to be some putting off and putting on. As you get into God's word and as you draw closer to him, he'll reveal some things in your life that need to be changed and need to be fixed. And so be willing to put off and to put on and to follow his way for your life. And so thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to try to smile here at the end to make some people happy. There's some people getting on me about that. And so I'm sorry about that, but I hope that helps you. Have a great day. We will see you back tomorrow morning.